Hello, my name is George Boncoraglio. I'm a counselor and coach currently residing in Hamburg, Germany, and an expatriate from Canada. I fluently speak English and only cater to English-speaking clients at this point. And I am currently specialized in two areas. The first is depression and the other is anxiety. And today I'm going to be covering a topic which is part of my depression specialization, known as the 5 stages of grief. The 5 stages of grief are characterized by 5 specific stages. The first one being denial, second, anger, third, bargaining, fourth, depression, and the fifth and final one is called acceptance. Today we're going to be describing in a little more detail the first one, known as denial. Now, denial is a way that the brain tries to protect itself from the shock of the loss. Basically, a loss occurs, and it overwhelms the emotions and the mind. And instead of fully understanding what has occurred, the mind blocks it out. So basically, it's you protecting yourself from what has occurred. And there are many examples of how this can play out. For example, some examples of losses are loss of a job or a very good career, loved one, or a separation and divorce. And so in the first case of a job loss, a person may deny it by saying, the boss is going to call me back, he's going to realize he was wrong, it's just a minor tiff that we got into, not a big deal. Or alternatively, they may go to sleep and wake up and say this was all a bad dream, get up, have breakfast, dress in their suit, and then go to a job which no longer exists because they have not either understood or accepted the concept that they're no longer employed at company X. The next one, as an example, would be the loss of a loved one. And in this particular case, many people would say, well, I still feel the person is with me, or they will set, let's say if they're eating dinner, they will set a plate for the person that used to be there. And, with the serviette and the cutlery and everything. And even in some cases, even talk to the empty chair like the person is still there. This is another case of denial because, again, the person hasn't accepted the fact that their loved one is now deceased. Separation and divorce are also losses that are of a great magnitude. And some examples of denial would be a person saying, for example, well, we just had a minor argument, it's not a big deal, everything will cool off, and we'll sort it through. And the only problem is that they haven't accepted the fact that the other person, their soon-to-be ex-significant other, no longer wants to continue with the marriage or the relationship and wants to pursue other interests. And so in a case like this, they may continue to call the other person, visit the other person, because they haven't acknowledged the fact that the relationship is indeed over. And so this is another way that the brain protects itself from the shock of the termination of that relationship. And so in subsequent sessions and videos, we're going to be taking a look at the next one called anger, which is the next phase. And when people are angry, just briefly, when the next phase starts, is basically people become angry because they can no longer deny the overwhelming evidence of the loss. And it's much easier to be angry as it fills you with energy rather than be depressed. But we'll say more about that next time. Until then, take care and good mental health.